Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a look here at SUI, see what's going on, double check a few important things. First of all, quick congrats to our community members here for some nice little profit there. While we haven't found a ton of opportunities this month, SUI has been a pretty consistent one for us. 38% in 11 hours there from our trade we took last night. We essentially took a long, from this I think it was 460 up, no, sorry, 440 upwards of, hold on, 441 to 486. So we caught our second profit target there. So good stuff there. Again, as I mentioned previously, this 485 to 490 range is a heavy resistance range. We've retested that level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 times. I don't know. I haven't specifically counted out. We can see a ton of candle wicks up there. So anyways, we're not talking, about that specifically. I just need you to know that that is absolutely a real thing here, and that could be a potential resistance moving forward. But the more you test the level, more likely it is to break, right? However, you got to recognize too, it pulled back pretty significant, mainly based on Bitcoin retracing. Is a pretty significant correction for Bitcoin. May not seem like a lot. It was only about a 3% correction from roughly 100K or just say 99.7 to this 96.5 mark. But it sent a lot of altcoins, including SUI, even a strong coin, pulling back to secure profits, okay? Keep in mind, they're not people like you and I securing profits. It's just market makers 101. They do what they do best when key level resistances are tested, and all the liquidation for Bitcoin had been swept, and we had a chunk of change between 97 and 100K. I slept through, unfortunately, a good solid entry on our short position there for Bitcoin. Future reference too, we have a lot of new members, so I want to touch on this. Trade alerts, I have a trade alert section here where I kind of give you a heads up on trades I'm planning to take. I told you specifics about the SUI trade. This is different than my signals, but it is kind of just a little preface letting you know what I'm thinking. And we were planning to take a trade in the 98 to 100K range for Bitcoin. And unfortunately, my alerts triggered like 3 hours into my sleep cycle last night, so it didn't work out. But hey, that's normal, folks. Okay, I like to bring that up in my videos because you need to recognize no matter who you are, you're going to miss opportunities. And the key is to not cry over spilt milk. That's just kind of an easy way to understand it, and to just find more opportunities. I'm a little frustrated by it just because there hasn't been a lot of great opportunities this month, and that was kind of like a layup, and I was looking forward to it. It didn't happen. It's all good, but I don't like to just sit there and chase trades and wait all day long for it too. So personal life should come first. Anyways, SUI, let's focus here. 490 to 520. We've known this for a while. That's a pretty heavy concentration of the upside. Part of that got hit there. Some folks at 490 or lower got swept pretty hard. We see maybe about $500 million between 487 and 490 that got demolished. So unfortunately, a lot of shorts are either successful or not so successful. It really depends on your margins there and how much you're putting in your trades. But the simple way to understand it is low leverage, low position size is probably the best way to go. And we secured almost 40% on a 5x leverage trade, folks. You don't need to have 20, 30, 50x leverage. Like, I don't understand why the entire market feels like this is a good idea. It just is absolutely insane to me to put money in a toilet and to hit the flush button. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, that's basically what you're doing because you're literally gambling. It's 50-50. Your odds of success go down dramatically the more leverage you use because your margins are so tight. You have no option to let the market move in whatever range it needs to. You're going to have a lot more failures, so to speak. And I'm speaking from experience here, folks. Trust me, I've tried a lot of different things in my day. And the most consistent thing you can do is use the same amount every single time and use the same amount of leverage every single time. You're changing it all the time. You're literally gambling and just flipping a coin. It's dumb. Don't do it. All right, so Delta here for liquidation starting to taper off. We're getting close to equilibrium. Really, when that happens, the price could go any direction. We're kind of, in a lot of cases, shifting momentum, but we haven't totally broken bearish yet, so don't even misinterpret that. The concept here is that, we're seeing that most recent bullish convergence has tapered off. But we're also bullishly backtesting the descending trend line too, and that's a good potential opportunity. Let's take a look here though. Open interest, we can see the most amount of open interest here locally is folks that bought the dip around 385 and of course 445. Those are tentatively underwater, these late longs. Basically where we took entry. We took entry at 441, okay? But again, we secured profit. I don't feel bad about the trade because we got in and we got out. Some people, they'll take longs right here with high leverage and just let it go and ride without a stop loss. That is insane. You adjust your stop loss higher as you get into profit, and you set a target for every single trade that you take. If you're shooting blind from the hip in every trade that you take, man, you're going to get your ass handed to you. You have no idea. You might be just getting lucky for the most part, and that's cool if that's worked for you for now, but take it from me, you're going to have a bad day one of these days, and it's going to be very unfortunate. So just my goal is to help impart good knowledge to everyone, and I hope you can see the benefit there, because it's really frustrating that people come over to my community after getting destroyed by XYZ trader, and basically like asking me to recover their portfolio. I can't do that, but I can give you best practice and help you prevent that from happening. So just know that that's potential reality. All right, so let's look at the right charts here. We got SUI pulled up here. Enough ranting and raving. I'm just going to go ahead and get to the charts and call it a day. Let's go ahead and go from there. Actually, I'll leave that there so I can show you what we were planning to do earlier. Daily time frame, we can recognize that we're above all moving averages. The 20-day SMA working tentatively as a support. The price wick down to 425 and is held above that level. Again, it's just a trend. It's not a support level, but it's kind of a support range because we have a lot of confluence there. The 0.5 fib level is right there. We got our 0.618 about 440. So we really need a 440 or 450 closure or higher today to have any potential confidence in taking a long position to the upside. And again, it's just because that's the local support. If that's broken, we can maybe presume it'll be a new resistance. Keep in mind, SUI recovers super well in any normal circumstance. So shorting to these ranges that I may discuss with you here soon is a bad idea in most cases. I'm never going to recommend shorting SUI again. I've gotten bit a few too many times. Granted, I've only taken 4 shorts with SUI and 2 of them are successful, so it's not that bad, but I really don't like a 50% success rate. It makes no sense at all, especially including fees. RSI here on the daily, we can see we're still over 50. That's positive. Most coins are not there. So we're still in this overall continuation of very positive situation. Stochastics trying to swing up here, kind of letting us know we're seeing a slight shift in momentum, potentially. I don't buy into daily stochastic. I prefer to use it on the 4-hour, and this is going to tell us a little different story. It's going to say that we've maxed out and we're pulling back as per usual. So what we want to look at here is our RSI staying above 50. It's not there at this point. So again, a closure above 440, what do you know? That'll put us above that level, reinforcing that support. When you take a look here at the money flow index, is really close to it as well. That's not bad nor good. We can see overall the amount of volume in this coin is generally higher than the previous few weeks or a few days of trading. We can recognize too, MACD is also trying to diverge here. Hasn't fully yet, but the truth is we're seeing a shift in momentum, and momentous indicators are telling us further downside is probable. When we look at this here, SUI, while it was overstanding leading into this, had a 14% correction when Bitcoin pulled back only 3%. Now, you got to understand, Bitcoin pulled back prior to that, and SUI continued higher. So that's not the exact way to understand it or to interpret it, but it is important to recognize here that SUI is going to have very dramatic sell-offs followed by significant uptrends. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just continue on our merry way back to the upside here after this massive correction. Again, these are market makers selling this. It is not people like you and I. I don't think you know anybody that's going to have billions of dollars that can sell that much SUI at one time. Okay, and again, this happening at 11 p.m. / 5 a.m. It's pretty much the Asian market just taking a ton of profit. Anyways, having said that though, SMAs were above. Well, sorry, no, correction. Let's zoom in here a little bit. And just to clarify, this is where we got in here at 441. If you ever want to understand how to interpret my charts, X typically marks the spot that I'm looking to take entry. We take a look here though, we can see that we're below all moving averages here minus the 200, so generally unfavorable. But we are retesting this trend line. So again, when you bullishly backtest a trend line, it's more often than not going to continue higher, okay? And again, it's not a guarantee, of course, by any stretch. It's just a slightly larger statistical probability. So the reason why that exists is just because that's typically going to retest a local resistance. And a lot of times coins will reject out here first and then continue higher and retest it and go much higher from there. All right, anyways, instead of speculating here, we're below all moving averages. We're not above 440, so if we see a closure today at 440, and to clarify, just so you know, some folks were asking in my comments yesterday, what do you mean candlestick closure? Crypto's 24/7, what's the deal? 24-hour candle closes at the end of a 24-hour period. It has to. And that 24-hour period is 0 GMT to 0 GMT, right? Or 5 p.m. Pacific to 5 p.m. Depending on time zone shifts, etc., that's generally the concept, okay? So we got about an hour and a half left here in this trading cycle, so if we can't close above 440, we may want to presume the price will continue lower. Again, I'm only saying that because 440 is a solid support level it's supposed to hold, and it'd be nice to have that. That would also give us confluence too on the 4-hour. We'd be over 50 on the RSI. We'd have a lot of confirming factors, but right now we kind of have this not so awesome environment to want to take a long position, okay? But once more, this coin recovers very quick in most cases, so just bear that in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if it's preparing and ready to rock and roll here. Here's some good news for you. Again, I'm not going to give you consolations. This is just the facts. We're above the cloud, and this right here, this area here is an area of support. So again, the price action could literally do this and it'd still be okay. All right. So generally speaking, we're still in good shape. We're not totally bearishly diverging, or there's no hidden bearish divergences. I say that sarcastically because it's so crazy how many people they'll look at 50 different time frames and try to identify these crazy, weird little patterns. Folks, if you just keep it simple, keep it basic, you're going to do a lot better. Less is a lot more in trading, and you could probably argue that I have 10 different indicators I use, but each time frame, 2 or 3 indicators for the most part. I limit how much analysis I do per coin, because if you overdo it, you can have a big problem. It's called paralysis by analysis, so don't do that. Anyways, we got 2 out of 3 reasons here as to why we're in good shape, but also 2 out of 3 reasons why the momentum is shifting here. So that's kind of where we're at here. Not great, not awesome, or not terrible either, right? Somewhat of a transition, and that's what 95% of the market is, right? So for me, I'm going to wait for 440 or higher before I consider a long position with this coin. We need to make sure this range sustains itself. All right, so that's all we got there. I hope that makes sense. Not too much outside of that. I'm going to go ahead and part ways here. I want to say I'm going to post a new playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly. And of course, if you haven't joined us over at Bitunix too, folks, take advantage of this deposit bonus this month. 12K deposit bonus based on obviously a scaling prize pool there. Up to you on what you want to do, but they're a phenomenal exchange. You'll always be eligible for future bonuses too if you consider using them. I hope you have a good one though. Really do appreciate your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.